Gala last year starred in a Hungarian movie about Auschwitz called Son of David. Son of Saul, sorry. The film won the Grand Prix in Cannes, the Golden Globe for Best Foreign Film, and the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film. This past January, Geza participated in a one-on-one broadcast conversation with Martin Schulz, who is the President of the European Parliament in honor of International Holocaust Remembrance Day. We live in an era in which the media and the world at large ignore widespread attacks against Jews, an era in which the forces of darkness threaten a second Holocaust. But Geza's movie sends a clear message that Israel and the Jewish people will never again place our destiny in the hands of governments that refuse to act against evil. Tonight we are naming him a co-honoree of the Champion of Holocaust Memory Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Reza Rorik. I am so honored to meet Dr. Cook. And I just told her something that I've never told anybody before. There is a documentary that was produced by the Simon Wiesenthal Center for Tolerance in Los Angeles, and it's called Against the Tide. You know, people talk about reading books, they can't put it down. I talk about reading Bret Stephens every Tuesday, and I can't put it down. And people talk about movies that they can't walk away from. I have to tell you, a fellow like me doesn't have a lot of heroes. I seem to make my own life. And I'm not idolizing necessarily other people. But if I were to announce an idolization of a human being, it's the man whose anglicized name was Peter Bergson. His Hebrew name was Dr. Hillel Cook. He fought against all odds, therefore the title Against the Tide, to try to bring to the attention of the American government and the American people the ongoing destruction of the 6 million people. In 1942, there had been only, and it had been widely publicized, 2 million people. Can you imagine a president of the United States, Secretary of State, and others in the then government said, all right, the only way to free them is not to bomb Auschwitz and other camps, and not to bomb the tracks on the way to those camps so they could take people to exterminate them. The way to do it is just win the war, and then they will not have killed as many as they want to kill. It's incomprehensible to me how, you know, my parents who were immigrants to this country, they escaped, my father escaped the pogroms in Lithuania and left a little shtetl called Zezmer between Kovno and Vilna in 1912, because the Cossacks would come into the town on horseback with whips and with swords and would kill the Jews. My father always dreamt of going to Israel, but he could never afford to go there because he prayed to God that one day there will be a place that Jewish people would not be subject to the whips and the swords of the Cossacks and other bigots. It still bewilders me, and I just got a book that said Roosevelt, that's entitled Roosevelt and the Jews. I got to figure out what it is that somebody is saying or that Roosevelt had said, why he would just give up and not make the slightest effort to save the Jewish people. It is incomprehensible to me as a human being to care about other human beings, but no matter what any of us, or we individually or collectively, have done in this room, we have done nothing compared to Dr. Cook's father. For those of you that have not seen that documentary, Against the Tide, please see it. It is a story about Cook. Mary and I were having dinner with Bibi not too long ago, and we were telling him the story of this, he knew it as Peter Bergson, because I guess your father anglicized his name to make it more. Right, Peter Bergson. Most people know the incidents and the efforts of Peter Bergson. So we asked Bibi if he would commemorate the memory of Dr. Cook's father by naming a square or street or something of the government afterwards. And he said he will look into it, and if it's not already done, he will do it. So I just wanted to tell you that it is such an honor for me to meet Hillel Cook's daughter. And after you see this documentary, you'll feel the same way that you were here tonight. Thank you.